.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy and hazy good morning to you. Yeah, I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Not all that bad of a day out there temperature-wise. We're working our way up into the upper 30s. Currently, we have 34 degrees at the airport. It is 37 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland, 34. Downtown Bay City is at 37 as well. We have a south breeze at 8, 29.83 and steady. That's the barometric pressure. Not much of anything of a wind chill. Foggy conditions around. That fog really settled in overnight and early this morning, and it looks as though it's going to take a little bit before we move that fog out of here. We're going to need a little bit stronger wind to do it, maybe very possibly a different wind direction. So hopefully by maybe late tonight, we are going to see more of a north wind, and that is going to help alleviate whatever foggy conditions we do have. But right now, it's west and southwest, only 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's in the forecast for a good part of the day today and into the early evening hours. So we're not going to see much of anything of a change in that wind until after midnight tonight. 37 is our projected high. 26 is our low, running well above average. 32 is where we should be in the afternoon, and 20 degrees at night. 34 is going to be our projected high for tomorrow, so a little bit cooler tomorrow. And the reason why is because we are going to see a high pressure system, which is right now over the Red River Valley. That's the Dakotas and Minnesota, right in there. That is going to be moving into the western UP late tonight. That's why we'll see the change in wind direction because of that clockwise circulation of air. It is going to be pulling down over top of us, not much of a breeze, but just enough of a wind change so that that temperature is going to fall off a little bit, and it should clear things out as far as the fog is concerned. And we'll actually see some breaks in the clouds as we go through the nighttime hours, especially after midnight. So that means tomorrow, unbelievable, we're going to see some sun. Sun, it looks like, is going to be a good part of the day tomorrow, at least it should be, with that high pressure system leading the way. The high is actually going to be drifting off to the east. So during the day tomorrow, we're going to see more of an easterly breeze, but again, very light, only 5, 7, 8 miles per hour. And then eventually, as that high moves further away from us, the wind direction will change into a southerly direction late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. So that is going to give us, again, some pretty mild overnight temperatures. After a high of 34, we're only going to drop down to about 26 for a low tomorrow. There will be a very weak low pressure system crossing through the Ohio River Valley, actually more in tune to the Tennessee Valley. So it could push not only some clouds up into southern Michigan, but there will be a chance of seeing a few flurries around as we go through the day tomorrow afternoon in southern Michigan, but not enough to create any problems because, again, those temperatures will be above the freezing mark. Friday, more so above the freezing mark. We'll warm up to about 40 degrees, and our low on Friday night, New Year's Eve, is only going to drop down to about 32. But the interesting thing about that is that more than likely will be our high for the day on Saturday. We are going to be looking at a real good chance of precipitation late Friday night after midnight throughout much of the day on Saturday. Right now, it appears as though we are going to be an all snow event. Southern Michigan will start off with some liquid precipitation. And by that, I mean the southern third of the lower peninsula from 69 south. It's going to be a little bit more of a mix with some freezing rain and some snow, but it'll eventually all turn into snow. We appear right now to be the target of the heaviest amount of snow out of this system. So as we go through the day on Saturday and Saturday night, we are going to be looking at a continual snow where in some cases we could very easily see half a foot, 6 inches, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we get a little bit closer to the Lake Huron shore, because we are going to be looking at a northeast and an east wind, lake effect type activity backing at us. We could, especially in the Great Lakes Bay region and areas to the immediate east and then northeast, a little bit more like 9 inches or so. And again, that's taking into effect not only during the day on Saturday, but Saturday night and the early morning hours on Sunday. The problem with Sunday is not only are we going to be looking at snow, it's why we're getting the snow. On Sunday, it's going to be lake effect. It's going to be a big high pressure system that's going to be moving in right along the Canadian border over Minnesota. And because of all the moisture laden air and the cold air, it is really going to be drafting some Arctic cold down over top of us. Our high temperature on Sunday will be 22 and our low 15 on Sunday night. So that coupled with some gusty winds, it is going to be gusty coming out of the northwest and the north, lake effect type activity. So we're going to get a continuation of the snow, only coming from a different source. The last time we saw temperatures in the teens, you got to go back to, I want to say April the 2nd. We were 19 degrees on that day. The last time we went to single digits or saw single digits for an overnight low was back on March the 6th of this year. I'm not saying we're going to have single digits on the thermometer, but we will have single digits right around 0, 5, 6 for wind chill on Sunday and Sunday night. So it's going to be quite a difference from what we've been experiencing. Over the first 10, 11 days of the month of January, at or below average on the temperatures, above to much above on the moisture. Record high in the state, 59, set back in 1984. The record low, 5 below zero, set in 1933. A year ago today, our high was 27 and our low was 19. Incidentally, for the month of December a year ago, 1.4 inches of snow so far as of the 29th of December. This year, we're looking in December right now at about 1.53 inches of snow. It's been an on-again, off-again event. So we'll just have to see how everything shakes out. And in some locations, we've seen better than 7.5 inches of snow in the Great Lakes Bay region so far for the month of December. Record amount of snowfall on this date is 5.3 inches, and that was set back in 1946. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Cody Harris standing by over at Star of the West. We'll be talking to him in just a moment to see if the markets have been able to recover a little bit. All of that coming up. But first, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. They want you to be ready, Mr. Farmer, in the new year to protect yourself against all the bad things that could happen and take advantage of the good things that are occurring and can occur if you work with the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. They are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. Their agents can be reached directly on their cells for questions or emergencies, or you can give the office a call in Reese at 989-868-4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency, wishing each and every one of you a happy holiday and a happy and prosperous new year. We say good morning to Cody Harris over at Star of the West. Cody, we started off the week not too bad. Looks like we had to settle down just a little bit. What's going on today?
Well, good morning, Terry. Well, we got a little bit of a mixed bag here today. It seems like we're kind of blending a little bit of what happened on Monday and then what happened yesterday, kind of all into one here as we look at the New Year's holiday coming up this weekend. Looking at everything the way it sits right now, we got cash wheat, that's up 6. $7.50 on the white, $7.15 on the red. Looking over at new crop wheat, that's up 4. $7.83 on the white, $7.23 on the red. Looking over at corn, cash corn's up 2 at $5.52. New crop corn is up 3 at $4.97. And looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are down 4 at $12.94, and new crop soybeans are up 3 at $12.10.
So what happened over the past couple of days here? What somebody come up with some new numbers or figures, or what's going on?
Well, I know one of the main drivers kind of throughout, or I guess the commodity itself that's kind of been the driver of the market's definitely been soybeans the last couple of weeks. And actually, we have first notice day for January futures this Friday. So you got a lot of traders trying to get out of those January futures before Thursday's close or risk taking delivery of that product. So you got a little bit of market just really trying to position itself here, Terry, as we look kind of further into the week. But then kind of looking at everything else, corn actually got some beneficial news here this morning. The Energy Information Administration's weekly ethanol report, or petroleum report, actually showed ethanol production firmed 8,000 barrels a day last week, following a decline of 36,000 barrels per day from the week before. So that was definitely good news. And I guess the production right now of 1,059,000 barrels a day, that is well above the weekly amount needed to achieve the USDA's 5.25 billion bushels of corn for ethanol their yearly usage prediction. So kind of we're on pace to really blow that number out of the water for ethanol production. And this week kind of cemented that as we kind of go into the next year and last week for 2021. So we got a little bit of mixed news, kind of just on position squaring and then a little bit of domestic demand, Terry, as we sit here today.
Now, I noticed that the wheat had been really taking it hard. And you mentioned on Monday that there were some pretty good reasons why those prices were going in the direction they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and today we're seeing a little bit maybe be a technical bounce with wheat being up here 6 cents here this morning. As we kind of see, we've definitely broke through some barriers, some price resistance barriers on just the future side of things. But I guess kind of maybe bullish here today is why we're up right now. But definitely maybe be some weather that we're kind of watching in the U.S. here, in the Pacific Northwest and Northern Plains. They've had a lot of snow, ice, and frigid temperatures right now to deal with, and that wheat crop out there. We've had a couple of analysts maybe start thinking that, this could be getting to a point where we might need to start watching this wheat. That might be getting the market just a little bit nervous here, Terry. But it's definitely a little bit of a change of pace from where we were definitely sitting at on Monday.
Cody, you take care. Have a nice day today. If we don't have a chance to talk to you, Happy New Year.
Thank you. You as well, Terry. Appreciate it.
You bet. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. A little bit more as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me right now. The market report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline. If you're looking for a new Ram commercial truck or van before the end of the year, might be a really good idea to get a hold of Schaefer and Beerline. They've been around since 1852. They've seen a lot of year-end events, and a lot of folks are trying to square things up. Maybe that new Ram truck or commercial van is something you need. Check it out from a dealer where family and service sells cars. They are the Great Lakes Bay Area certified ag dealer. That is Schaefer and Beerline. And by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union. They do have lines of credit, equipment loans, financing for purchasing land, credit cards, and more. So find out what they can do for you by going to frankenmuthcu.org. Doug, good morning.
Good morning.
I got to ask you before I forget, I could not believe, I think you had mentioned the one day that ethanol price was so much higher.
Yeah, dime. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What in the world is going on?
That's something to do with Carol. I don't know. Oh, shoot, their gasoline is down in the 270s. At least it was last night or yesterday.
Yeah, there you go.
That was kind of interesting. But hey, Kroger actually got it under $3 this morning. So I thought, wow, only 3 weeks later than everybody else, or at least 3 weeks later than Carol. So cash in my 30 cents here, and I save a nickel.
I got 50 cents yesterday. Can you
Yeah,
believe that? Yeah.
You saved 25 cents.
I think it was $2.48 I paid.
You just tried to Carol.
I was feeling good.
You got to hand it to the crude oil traders, though. They run the crude oil up, $10 in the last 3 weeks.
Wow.
You know, I don't know. And they kind of peaked this morning. It was up about, I don't know, $1.80, something like that. And they kind of run out of steam, and they dropped about $1.60 off from the peak this morning. So hopefully they're out of steam. Hopefully, I've watched that go up enough days in a row, but we'll see what they do. But yeah, right now crude oil is down. Was up, now it's down. The only markets that really is up still is natural gas. That's still up 1.5%, which is nothing for them. Silver and platinum, they're down 1.5%, and those are the big movers. That's about all that's going on today. So here's your numbers. The March corn, 606, up 1 penny and a quarter. December 22 corn is 551.5, down up 2 3/4 cents. The March soybeans, 1364, down 4 cents. July soybeans, 1377 and a quarter, down 2 1/4. The March wheat, 790, up 6.5. And December 22 wheat is also 790. That's up 1.5 pennies. Crude oil, 75.65, down 33 cents. The heating oil is 234.18. That's down 2 cents. Gasoline is 225.06. That's up 0.3 pennies. Natural gas is 379.9. That's up 5.5 cents. Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar gets you $1.2807 at the border. That's down 15 ticks. The yen is at 114.96. That's up 15 ticks. The euro is at 113.41, up 32 ticks. The dollar's at 95.94. That's down 25.5 ticks. Gold is at 1803.10. That's down $7.80. Silver's at 22.82, down 30 cents. Platinum's at 967.30. That's down $12.10.
We appreciate it, Doug. You take care.
Yep.
Talk to you again. Mm-hmm. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Jerry Samolsky joins us in a moment.
Max Armstrong here. It's time to start thinking about next year's crop, including fertilizer. This year, the cost and even the availability of nitrogen is on most farmers' minds. Pivot Bio created a new nitrogen, predictable in both performance and price, so farmers can be more confident.
Pivot Bio Proven 40, the nitrogen that stays put, weather or not. To learn more, contact Sean at Ag Armor Seeds. Call 1-866 Yield.
Do you have a yield monitor in your combine? Do you print off a pretty picture every year, but you don't know what to do with it? Why don't you have PC Ag Solutions analyze your data to help you make profitable decisions for the upcoming season? We can help you analyze your data from your planter, sprayer, or combine and compare it to your soil types and nutrient availability. Anything from the planting date to your speed, population, and variety to elevation, drainage, and in-season applications. We can help you make the most profitable decision on your farm. Call us today, 989-868-4444. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today. Jerry Samolsky, looks like we got a little snow coming, a little much needed moisture on the way. What's your thought right now?
Terry, the moisture is all good. I know our deep moisture is we're still dry way down in the nursery. Sometimes we have to irrigate in order to dig. It's so dry because we'll push those spades down 3 feet deep, 4 feet deep, and the deep ground is dry. So this is a time when it melts in and it goes slowly. We don't have frozen ground yet. So, that works out really well and helps get that moisture to get down slowly and get deep. But Terry, we're looking at I'm looking at long range weather, and I'm not seeing a lot of minuses come up even in through January. So one of the things people kind of worry about is the wind chill on plants. And it's kind of two different things. So there's a wind burn that happens to evergreens because they keep their leaves. They got to keep moisture pumping through, keeping those needles, those leaves hydrated. And what happens is when it's frozen hard and it's windy, they can't suck up as much moisture because it's hard freeze, and they lose a lot because of the wind. That just causes those leaves to burn, but that wind chill does not affect the cold hardiness of plants. Cold hardiness is strictly temperature. And if we're seeing things in the teens, the low teens, we're pretty good maybe for some minus teens. We're good for zone 6 plants, like blue Atlas cedar, some of the laurels, and maybe even some of the hollies that we can't grow here. We've been trying a few of those. We're going to see how they do this winter. And a little research said about every 7 out of 10 years, we'd be good to grow that stuff. So, it's kind of fun to try some new things that you can't normally have. And with the temperatures we're having, we can do that. So we're looking at warmer winter temperatures. We're going to try some different things and see how that works for us.
Good advice. Talk to you again tomorrow, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Take care. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Let's slide over to Nutrient Ag right now. Ron Calhoun joining us this morning. Ron, we're getting pretty close here to the end of the year. It's crunch time for some guys. My guess is a lot of folks have probably locked in what they're going to do, right?
Yeah, I think, normally that would be the case, Terry. I think this year some things are a little bit up in the air just because we're still trying to navigate what it's like to, have enough truck drivers here and there or get product in at the right time and that kind of thing. So, as people come off a year where we had, record yields in a lot of places and record farm gate income in a lot of places, you think we'd be feeling pretty good. And then it's kind of aggravating to see, fertilizer prices creeping up and that kind of thing. So we have a lot of people that made decisions. A lot of people are kind of wait and see. I know we're in a situation where we're just trying to only sell what we actually have our hands on because we don't know what tomorrow's product is gonna cost us. And so, there's folks looking at maybe doing a little bit of virtual withdrawal from the soil bank this year with their corn plans and that sort of thing, where we might be looking to try and get just a little bit more out of some of that residue or some animal litter that we might be putting down. And so just trying to look at some different things that we could do this year to maybe to use up some of those nutrient resources that are in the soil and try to, balance that with where we think, fertilizer prices might be going.
Now, you mentioned virtual, and I want to re-mention something that Scott DeVries talked about last week, and that is the Monday presentations. How are they going so far? What's going on?
Well, we had a great first week with Dr. Christy Sprague came in, and as most of your listeners would be aware, it's a little challenging to find enough gallons of glyphosate this last year, and so we're looking at trying to design our weed programs around letting each thing that's in our program do the thing it's best at. So Terry, it might be in a situation where if we use the full rate of glyphosate, it can go out there and it can get a bunch of weeds for us. But if we try to nurse that in at a little bit lower rate, it's just going to get the things it's good at. And so Christy provided us with some really great options on how we are going to pair that with, good mechanical maintenance, soil residual like soybean pre's and that kind of thing, to try and get each thing that's in our program to give us the thing that it's best at in a situation where we're maybe a little bit short on some of those glyphosate gallons that we'd otherwise have.
Ron Calhoun, Happy New Year to you. We look forward to talking to you again. All righty.
Thank you. Thanks for the time. Bye-bye.
You bet. Dr. Ron Calhoun with Nutrient Ag. We'll be right back.
This is Renee.
Happy to be here.
She's in a few John Deere commercials this year, but she's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, accomplishing anything she sets out to do behind the wheel of her 1 Series tractor.
Anything, honestly.
Like turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven. And that means plowing snow, mowing her pasture, carving out a space for her 4-legged friends to run around. Out here, you can't fake a job well done. And no matter how long the to-do list gets, she's always ready. Her iMagic Quick Hitch, backhoe, Quick Park Loader, and Auto Connect mower deck make moving on to the next task as easy as Renee runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear Renee's story at Deere.com.
Contact one of Tri-County Equipment's 11 locations in Bad Axe, Birch Run, Burton, Caro, Fenton, Lapeer, Marlette, Reese, Rochester Hills, Saginaw, or Sandusky, or visit Tri-County Equipment online.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Thumb Bank, serving the needs of farmers for well over 125 years. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we end our program with the playing of the national anthem.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Peter